Hey everybody, Brian and Erika here again with another edition of DCL Dorks. And today we're going to talk about one of the excursion islands that the Disney Cruise Line owns. It's Castaway Cay.
Castaway Cay, not K.
Cay, I'll probably say Cay. They spell it C-A-Y and it always throws me off, but it's Cay.
So your dork tip is pronounce it Castaway Cay and you'll look like you've been there before.
Yeah, right. So yeah, we're going to talk about most of your Caribbean trips are they'll usually have a stop at the Disney's private island, which is Castaway Cay. Key, there we go. And so you spend the whole day there. You usually arrive around 8 or 9 o'clock, and then usually stay till about 3 or 4 o'clock is on board time. So you hit the whole day, there to basically hit the beach and do outside beach activities.
It's basically an extension of the ship. So what it is it's a 1,000 acres, and it has a 2,400 foot long airstrip. And so one of the things that they do to utilize this flat island is they have the Castaway Cay 5K. Woo! It's the only time I've ever successfully felt good about running a 5K. And it's also the only one I've run in a foreign country. So if that's on your bucket list, this is the flattest place to go to run your 5K. And it's free.
And you get that cool medal too.
And they've updated it since then. This is from 2015. But what they do is those who are interested, they board, they meet in a specified area before they get off the ship. Then
you get to get off the ship.
We get to get
earlier than everybody else.
Yes, but unlike everybody else, we have to run.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll see you afterwards.
Yes. Yeah. And then they take that group off. They go run. At the end, you get your medal, which I'll do just about anything for a medal. And then you can go enjoy your time at the beach. The beach is in the Bahamas. So for those of you who like to send and receive mail from foreign countries, there is a post office on the island. And so but you will need cash for that to purchase your stamps. And it does take a while for the mail to actually arrive back home. So if you're thinking that you're going to send one of the nifty postcards that are in your stateroom to family back home and they're going to get it, they're not going to get it before you get home. There's no...
You're going to beat it home.
You're going to beat it home. So, so that's kind of how that is. Your key to the world card, you will need to take off the ship with you. And then you'll use that as just like you use any for
a credit card.
It's
and you don't need if you're not going to need cash for the post office. You really don't need to take cash or an ID or anything off the boat. You can leave that in the stateroom, and all you need is your lanyard with your key to the world card there, and that buys you anything you need.
That's right. And everything, the Navigator app works on the island as well, so that there's no issue with the Wi-Fi or anything. So you can still message each other in your groups. You can still see what time everything is, and you can still see what's going on and what your plans are, and all the functionality of the Navigator app, which is really, really handy.
And I suggest that you actually, there's certain ports of call when we cruise that we may not get off of that. Like when you've been to Nassau, 1,000 times before, and you may not get off the boat for that one. But at Castaway Cay, almost everybody gets off. I mean, why not get off the boat? Because again, it's an extension. You don't have the problem with, people trying to sell you stuff when you get off the boat, because it's an extension of the cruise ship. It's an extension of DCL, because most of the staff that's on the ship gets off, and they're the ones that are, manning the shops, the restaurants, everything. They have a small staff that lives on island, that stays there continuously through the season, but most of the staff are staff from the ship. So you might see your wait staff out in cookies, serving you lunch, So I would suggest to everybody, when you're go to Castaway Cay, you should at least step off for a couple of hours just to take it in,
Oh, yes. And it's one of the things too, like the Navigator app that works out on the island, is your PhotoPass, because there are characters all over the place on the island. And so
what are they doing? They're probably wearing their bathing suits.
They are. So if you're like me and want to collect all the outfits, that is one that you won't want to miss. but in those that are running the Castaway Cay 5K, they also will have, you'll have a shorter line because everybody won't have made it down there yet. But if you're getting off the ship as a non-runner, then you can get off, and they're just kind of stationed around the island,
Right.
on your way to the family beach area. And it's great. So your PhotoPass will work out there. And so if you've invested in that, which we always do, and we always recommend that people do, you can get all the kinds of pictures. And we've, when the kids were younger, we even got pictures from the beach, where they had photographers going around the beach, and that they ended up in our Magic Pass PhotoPass. So that was pretty cool.
I recommend getting the PhotoPass. So, you know, when I first started cruising with Erika and she got the PhotoPass, I'm like, we don't need this. We have a camera. We can do all that. But it's the fact that you don't have to take your camera with you. You don't have to worry about the sand or anything else. And they've also know where the good picture taking spots are. So you basically just stand, usually a short line, you know, maybe 10 or 15 people. You get up there, you scan your pass, you've got the photo, you go on about your day, you don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to carry anything else around with you.
It's worth it. I mean, I'm as frugal as the next guy, but PhotoPass, do the PhotoPass.
So one of the things, I guess I say so a lot. Anyway, my transition word. So they'd serve you lunch out there. But first, I guess we need to talk about getting to the family beach. So you get off the ship and there's a tram that will take you. There are 2 stops on the tram that'll take you to the family beach. Right. And then the 3rd stop takes you to Serenity Bay, right, which is the only beach. 18 or over, right? Right. So you have the option to walk if you don't feel like waiting for the tram. When you first get off the ship, there can be a large queue to wait to get on the tram to take you there. So if you don't want to sit and wait in that queue for like the next bus or the next tram, you could just hoof it down, you know, to the beach. It's not that long of a walk, especially when it's early in the morning. You might still have a little, you know, a couple steps still in you. Maybe at the end of the day, we'll ride the tram back. But in the mornings, maybe you just hoof it, And our dork tip for the family beach is go to the 2nd stop. Right. And here's why: because the walkers, they will probably stop the first chair that they get to, because chair rental is free. They're just laid out all over. There's an umbrella. I am a redhead. I chase the shade. And so I always find a chair for that. And, you don't have to go to the first chair that you come across. If you take the 2nd tram, the family beach is huge. It's huge. Yeah. You'll get there and you think you get your spot. We got it. But you're like, well, look at all that. It continues on. It's like, go ahead and go to that next stop and go a little further down, because there are probably going to be more chairs, you know, for the taking. Yeah. Also, they have the cabanas that are down there. It's not the same cabanas on the ship. It's not a restaurant. These are private, true cabanas that are available to rent. You need to do that before you get on board. Once your booking window opens for activities, they go really quick. Usually. Oh, so before you even get on the ship. Oh, yes. Oh, that far in advance. Whenever you're booking reservations for Palo or Remy or any of like the tastings or anything like that, you want to go ahead and book your cabana, because they are limited in number, and they have family cabanas, and then they do have them back on Serenity Bay. So we recommend, if you're going to do that. We've never stayed in it because, again, cheap. We got the PhotoPass. Cabanas too. Okay, all right. So that's one of the things that they have with that. So that's our dork tip. Take the tram, or don't have to stop at the first chair. Right. But there's a lot of things to do out there on the family side of the beach. Okay. Well, and so you can like snorkeling. There's an area out in that family area that you can there's a reef, and you can like snorkel out there. You can rent the snorkel gear, or if you want to bring it with you and you have extra room in your luggage, go ahead and pack a set of fins, a mask, snorkel. You can bring that with you. There's kayaks that you can rent. I believe there's some inner tubes as well. Mm-hmm. So you can rent all these other items that you can go out and you get them for the whole day while you're there. And then it's just another extra thing that you can do. You can ride a bike. Oh, right. We laugh. We will never rent a bicycle. No, that's not our thing. That's okay. That's not our thing. But they have little hidden treasures down. There's some Mickey statues and some other statues. So when you do go snorkeling, that you want to look for those things. They have a stingray experience, and then they have a whole bunch of excursions that we haven't done. We haven't, because we've enjoyed Serenity Bay, we've enjoyed the family beach, we've enjoyed the whole Castaway Cay experience. So we don't feel like we need to go on the try to do the extra excursions. But for those of people who that's their thing, there's parasailing. A good friend of ours loves the parasailing out there. She thinks it's fantastic. And so that's her opportunity to do it. So definitely check that out. But there's also food there, and it's good food.
Well, it's the same as like on a ship. It's all included, you know, they've got, you know, the buffet, and they've got cookies, and then cookies too, they're called, the restaurants, but they've got you know, barbecue, they've got hamburgers, hot dogs, they got barbecue chicken. Then they have a lot of sides to go with that, like potato salad, they've got some like quinoa salads, you know, they've got a wide range, and then a lot of desserts. They've got soft serve ice cream, which the kids love.
Oh, unlimited soft serve.
Yeah. And so they've got it, you don't have to, you just show up, and I think they serve lunch for almost 3 hours.
From
like
11:52.
Yeah. And so you've got plenty of opportunity. Whenever you feel hungry, you head up and you can do it. And then they've got the soft drinks, they're, you know, free of charge as well.
Yeah. And there's no assigned time. So let's say you go to 11:30 and then at 1:30 you're still a little bit hungry, you just go back up and get something. And since there are 2 restaurants, you're not competing with every single person on the ship to get through there. And they have seating there, and they take really good care of you, and the food's good. Over on Serenity Bay, there's one restaurant, and the difference between their restaurant and then the cookies 1 and 2 is they serve ribeye steaks.
Right. Well, and so Serenity Bay, I don't know that we've necessarily talked about that yet.
Sure.
So if you're out there and the kids didn't come with you this time on the cruise ship, or you don't travel with kids,
or you put them in the kids club.
You go down, take the last stop, go to the Serenity Bay, because again, it's the 18 and over. And I remember the first time that we, you know, because we had done it with the kids, the family area, and it's like there's a lot of people everywhere. But when you make it to Serenity Bay, you kind of walk in and just all of a sudden it's calmness and quiet.
Right.
You know, it's fantastic. It's a completely different experience than on the family side of the beach. The family, there's a lot of stuff going on, kids are playing and everything, but if you're not into any of that, head on down to Serenity Bay, and it's just because there's a little separation between you and the family beach. So you walk in, and you know there's lots of lounge chairs, umbrellas. There's also additional cabanas that you can rent down there, and then you've got the additional restaurant that just serves Serenity Bay, and yes, they have ribeye steaks at that one. So it's very good. I mean, it's a nice break of having to think about, you go to one of the excursion points, you got to think, you know, what we're going to do, you know, we got to get off the ship, we're going to do this. Castaway Cay, you just kind of take it easy, you know. I mean, you can do some of the activities, but for the most part, you're just kind of taking it easy.
If you're lucky, you can get a hammock. They have hammocks on the family beach and on Serenity Bay, but usually they're taken up pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So if you can get a nice little swing in there, go right ahead and do that. There are, for those who chase the shade like I do, they do have some pavilion areas that have like the big Connect 4 games. They have some different
ping pong.
Yeah. And unlike on the cruise ship, you know, the table's in the same place.
Yeah, the table doesn't move. Yeah. So, and they've got, it's a big, like, enclosed pavilion basically. So if you're done with being out in the sun, you know, you can just escape over to the shade then.
There also is the kids club option. So they have Scuttles Cove, which is the kids area. They have it for the vibe and for the kids. And then there's also a kids excursion that they can go on to if they're edge and vibe related. They can go up and be a part of this, and they can go out and spend the whole day doing a kayak tour and doing a variety of different things. But you can also just check your kid into Scuttles, where they're going to have activities for them all day. They do not take them to the water, so that you don't have to worry about somebody watching them play in the water. No, they're going to have activities that are not ocean involved with the ocean, and then you can check them in and out of there just like you would at the cruise at the club on the ship. But there are also some really amazing water play areas that are out there.
Right. Yeah. So they've got like kind of a tower that's, you know, sits out in the middle of the water, and they've got a couple, I think, water slides on that. They've got some water cannons that you can, like, you know, shoot. You can shoot other people that are on the play area. And then I think they also have some like swing out ropes and stuff like that. Now you've got to be able to swim in order to do those activities, because you got to swim out to it. But it gives a little extra, something for the kids and stuff to do, other than just, building sand castles or going snorkeling. There's, some other activities that they can do.
And you can build sand castles and do other activities.
Yeah.
We always in our bag, and we're going to have an upcoming episode where I actually show you what's in the bag that never gets unpacked when we're home. We always bring, even though we have teenagers, we bring our sandcastle toys because someone's bound to want to play with them, because they don't get to go to the beach very often.
Right.
And so you're there, you might as well build sandcastle.
Right.
And they met some kids from the kids club. They were by them on the beach, and they all built sandcastles together. So that was pretty cool. So that was something that they can do.
Right. Right.
Let's see what else. We covered it.
Cut this out.
Yeah, we cut out. Did we? I think we covered everything.
Probably long enough now.
Okay.
Oh, I'll talk about the head shops.
Oh yeah, that's what we didn't talk about. Yeah.
And then one of the last things, and on your way off of the island, they've got some shops that they're on the island that you can buy things, and there's actually some items in those shops that you can't buy on the cruise ship,
Right?
Or that you can maybe buy even at the Magic Kingdom or any of the other parks. Like you can get the Castaway Cay like Hawaiian shirts.
Aloha Friday.
Yeah, you can get certain towels, beach towels and stuff. There's a lot of items that you can't get anywhere else other than on Castaway Cay. So I highly suggest walk through the shops, just see what they've got to offer, and you might find something you want, and then you can just use that Key to the World card to purchase it. You don't need any other payment, and it just gets charged back to your room. One other thing we almost forgot: they have cooler bags that you can pack before you get off the ship. Yes, they have bars, and they have that you can purchase beers out on the island, but the bar service is not maybe quite as robust on the island as it would be on the ship.
Well, it's a large area. Yeah.
So when you're getting off the ship, you might see that one of the promenade bar, they've got these little coolie insulated bags with a strap that you can purchase, and they'll put drinks in there. They can put water, they can put aluminum bottles of beer, soda, and you can get that pre-packaged. You can carry that off ship with you, and then you can enjoy it on the beach and not have to worry about getting up and walking to the bar or whatever, or finding a waiter. They do have some waiters out on the beach, but it's not as plentiful. So I think that's a great tip, to go ahead and pack that cooler bag with you. And if you've got other excursions that you're going to a beach at one of the other, you can use that same bag again when you get off the ship. Have it packed with your favorite beverage and take it with you.
Sometimes we've even just brought our own cooler bag from home,
right,
and then just filled it up on our own with items that we're going to want to eat. Another good dork tip is the night before you go on the cruise, or the night before you go to Castaway Cay, call room service, order some Uncrustable sandwiches. They will bring you, they're just like round peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, but it's a little snack that you can have during the day without having to get up and go
whatever. And they're in sealed packages, so they can go right in the bag. Yeah. Refrigerated, so yeah.
So we want to hear what you guys love about Castaway Cay. What are your favorite excursions that we haven't tried before? What are the favorite things that you do? If you've had a cabana, tell us about it. Tell us why you thought it was worth it, so that I can convince this guy over here to get me one, so I can always be in the shade. So in the show notes, we'll as links to all of to where you can find this podcast, where you can find this podcast on YouTube, and what our Instagram, how to find us on Instagram and Facebook. So keep those comments and those questions coming, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.
See ya.